Willie Jennings says of this text, the gate of the temple becomes the entrance to a new future. Peter and John have entered that future, and now they perform it. Once we have entered a new future prompted by the Spirit's movement among us toward all of those revolutionary markers of community that we saw in yesterday's text, how will we perform that future together? Something we've been talking about as a congregation for a while now, something we've been prompted to think even more clearly and deeply about by Gail Hamner in our Futurity Symposium. This text is an invitation to us to think clearly as a community how we will perform the future that the Spirit is guiding us into. They met a man who embodied an economic hierarchy where one's health and ability to live were tied to one's economic position in the empire. In a very clear way, we're seeing that displayed before us now more than ever in the midst of this pandemic. And I think it's really interesting to see in this text the movement of bodies from community into the space of worship in the temple. And they could not enter that space of worship without being confronted by the economic disparities that were diminishing the ability of some to live a life. What kind of spiritual boldness and courage do you think it took for Peter and John to say and do the things that they did in this text? Can you identify with that kind of spiritual boldness in your life, in the past, or in the present, or even as a hope for the future? They had no alms to give him, but they offered a radical healing invitation to perform the future with them. And the result was leaping and praising and wonder and amazement. And these are the markers that are evidence that you have experienced the gospel.